What you talking about the intro music?
Yeah, it's like real. I don't know. It had me feeling away.
Had you feeling like it's time?
Yeah.
It's time again.
What's up, y'all? What's up? It has been a long, long, long time. What is going on? If you don't know me, I am Crystal, aka Chrissy, and these are the Chrissy Chronicles. Um, I'm not sure if this is a comeback or what, but I did want to come on here because I was getting a few inboxes of people being concerned, which I appreciate, just asking me what I've been up to, why I did choose to take a sabbatical from social media. So I guess I'm just gonna hop into that. Unfortunately, it's just me. I mean, I got a background, but I don't have no co-host today. So y'all bear with me. Um, I'm gonna try to see the comments. I ain't been on here in so long.
You go live on your page.
Yeah, I'm live on my page, but I don't swipe left to reveal comments. All right.
Oh, you haven't done it so long.
I haven't been on here in so long, so I just wanted to come on here because once again, people were inboxing me with concerns. I'm still alive. I'm healthy. Thank God for that. Um, I simply left because I needed a break. I needed a break, like a mental break from social media. Some people, you know what I'm saying? I just needed to take a sabbatical. What that means is I just had a lot going on at the time. Not necessarily saying my podcast was getting in the way of that, but I just felt like I needed a break. I needed a break. I felt like, I don't know, I just had a lot going on. I had school, I got kids. I'm in the middle of a career move. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot that took place into that. Me leaving. And it ain't no hard feelings. I did choose to cut people off. You know what I'm saying? Does that make me a bad person that I chose to cut people off?
Nah.
I don't know. I just had to do what I had to do for my mental health. I just had a lot going on. I got a lot to say, but I'm trying to put it in so many words. I don't really want to offend nobody. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but it is okay to have a selfish moment. I felt like, well, no, I'm just saying, I felt like I had to take a selfish moment. Where do I start with this selfish moment? I don't know. I just literally start cutting people off. Sometimes you got to do that once again for your mental health, right? I was going through a lot, and I felt like me having friends or being around certain people, you know, having friends take a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. Um, I just didn't have it to give to certain people. Now, is that right for me to say as a friend? I don't know. But at the time, I didn't have the energy for other people. Dealing with school once again, my kids, just life. Life was beating my butt. And I just decided to step away. So I really just wanted to come on here and clarify for people, why I chose to stop. I mean, I'm on social media sometimes, but I just had to tone it down. And my whole thing is, for one, I don't want to ever miss what God has for me. I was watching was it a podcast with Lauren London? I think it was a podcast with Lauren London and Angie Martinez. And she said, "What? I don't want to miss my mark. Whatever God has for me, I don't want to miss that." And I felt like just what I was doing, my judgment was so clouded. Like my judgment was clouded. I was doing things I know I wasn't supposed to be doing, going out, drinking all the time. I don't even drink anymore. Oh, that's the lady that I met upstairs texting me. She told me to lock her in. Um, just certain things. So I just wanted to get on here and speak about it. I'm at the point where, they say in life, when you have a real like one-on-one with God, I think I had that. And it's just like I don't want to miss my mark. I was feeling like my life, I didn't know where my life was going. I felt like I was at a dead end. Then think about it. You got friends and people you hanging with, you really are picking up their energy and you picking up other people's problems. So that's really what it was. I mean, I had a health scare. I'm all good. Just dealing with things, and depression plays a part in that. And I just felt like I didn't have the energy to be somebody's friend. I had the energy to pick up other people's problems. Sometimes you got to do that for yourself. So it's nice to be missed, though. I appreciated everybody asking about me, but I'm good. As you can see, I'm still good. I'm alive. I'm well. I don't know if I'm bringing the podcast back. I mean, I don't know. I don't. What you think about it? I need some type of advice over here.
Bring it back
Why do you say bring it back?
because
You're good. Hold up. Let me bring my mic. Don't make sense. They can hear what I'm saying.
I was waiting on you to tap in.
Who? I was doing stuff. I want you to get your monologue out first.
I mean, that was really it. I mean, I
Nah.
just wanted people to know that, you
Oh.
know.
No, I've done a 5-minute episode before, so that's nothing new.
Yeah.
No, honestly, you should bring it back because at the end of the day, your podcast was initially when we sat down and talked about it was supposed to be the diary of your journey.
Right.
You are now going on a new journey. So you turn left at Albuquerque like you were supposed to. So now having that conversation about where you were. So at this moment is where you will put the pin and how you will start telling your story. So as you start going down your new career path, how you're dealing with your kids, how you're reevaluating your life where you no longer want people to lust after you or
I didn't even bring that up.
I'm just saying.
No, that's another key thing too. Not to cut you off. I'm working on cutting people off too, but you brought that up.
Don't be cutting me off.
I'm not in that season.
Exactly. And this is a new thing because as someone who's known you for a while, okay, I've watched you go from a marriage life to trying to find you to trying to find a relationship. And now you're at that phase where you're trying to find you without a relationship.
Right.
Like a relationship is not even something that's on your table or a concern about you. So basically trying to find you is a whole journey within itself.
This is my thing too. And I just want to make this clarification. Like I feel in my life, I have a life partner. Now that can be, take that how you want to take it. But my whole problem was, and this is why I really stopped social media. I was okay with people inboxing me with the lust stuff. I don't want to ever be that girl that you feel like you can inbox. You know what I'm saying? Just on that. Not, oh, I want to take you out. Oh, I want to, you know, this, that, and the other. I felt like I was becoming that person.
Well, the reason why you were starting to be okay with that is because that's starting to become the norm on social media, period. Nobody who usually looks to find somebody on social media does it for a dating purpose anymore. It's always a lustful intention at the end of it because it's an easy, quick fix. You sit here, you put everything you want about you on social media. I take that information. I compile the best strategy to approach you. I say all the things that you want to hear that leads me to your bedroom because now you feel like you're getting all this unmissed attention. And once I've gotten the draws, it's at this point whether or not I still want to continue anything with you or this was a nice ride. Let's move on to the next thing.
I understand
so
that too.
Social media does start off as a very lustful place to begin with. Think about it. When you look at social media, it's hearts, thumbs up, heart eyes now. Like there's not even nothing on social media to let you be like, boo, boo, that bitch, move. Right. Because they don't want negative imagery, but you're creating this environment where how many hearts did you get on this particular post?
Right.
Compared to just people saying, hey, dog, I like that.
And I take social media now as here's reality. Okay. Here's social media. People live in this realm, and I say this all the time. You can be who you want to be on social media.
And that's why people live there.
I didn't want that image for myself. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, I used to post things, of course. Everybody want attention at some point in life. But I really had to sit down and tell myself, like, this is not the image you want to portray. If a dude feel like, or if he's comfortable coming in my inbox saying some stuff about lust or whatever, it's because of something that I'm doing to portray that that's okay.
Yes,
that's how I felt.
Yes and no.
And it's not okay because I'm not in that season. I don't want to be lusted after. I feel like, listen, you know who you are as a person, right? You know what you want.
Right.
You know your goals. And that was another thing too. I was so stuck on being, like I was being hard on myself because I felt like, you know, I'm at this certain age. I should be doing this by now. This should be done by now. I wasn't, and I'm still not in the season of feeling like, oh, well, let me get with somebody so that can change. It's hard to explain, and I don't want to come off cocky or nothing, but it's just like, what makes you think you inboxing me about me coming over to chill with you or watch a movie is gonna help me in my life? That's my whole
But that's
point.
not being cocky, that's being honest.
Yeah.
Because if more people start having those kind of responses, then it may change the narrative of what goes on in people's inboxes.
Mhm.
You see, that's why I said yes and no to people being lustful because of something you're doing. No, a lot of men, because before we used to separate boys and men. So now it's just literally, it's just men, period. A lot of males, okay, let's keep it honest. A lot of males do only what has been successful.
Right.
So if I jump in 50 inboxes, and in those 50 inboxes, I use the same pickup line. If it works one time, guess what I'm going to do the next day?
Right. You gonna use if
I'm
it
going to
ain't
do the
broke,
same
don't
thing
fix
the
it.
next 50 times. So we learn to accept the fact that y'all will say no, but somebody's going to say yes. And when that person says yes, it keeps that pattern going.
Listen.
So I'm not saying that I'm putting blame on women, because I know right now there's a woman typing, well, you trying to tell me now they shouldn't even do that to begin. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying is if we call them out collectively in that moment, like, look, if you're going to come at me, you got to come at me respectfully. I'm not here for A, B, C, D. So if this is all you're trying to do, move around. And usually they will, because that's all they want. They don't know no better. They don't know.
Right.
A lot of boys don't know how to court. A lot of men don't know what to do with an older woman to begin with.
Listen. This is my whole thing, and I get it. If y'all feel like social media is the place to find y'all mate, cool. But as for me, it's just not. It's listen, like I said before, whatever God has for me, I don't want to miss that mark. I was in such a dark place when I quit the podcast and I like completely was off social media. I told myself, like, I'm not going to deactivate my page. I'm just going to stay off social media. I'm not going to post. The most I'll do is scroll. I was in such a dark place. Like, I didn't know where my life was going. I felt like the people that were around me. And once again, I'm not taking this, I'm not trying to be, what's the word? Subliminal. But I feel like everything I had going on just wasn't the right thing for me at the moment. Have you ever been in a place where you felt uncomfortable? Like everything you did was uncomfortable. Everything I was doing, I was like, this ain't right. I need to be doing something else. This is not right. This is not where I'm supposed to be.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That actually is what you're supposed to do. That's maturity happening.
Yeah.
As you grow out of a phase or a stage, when you try to stay in that same place, you don't feel right there. How many times when you were younger, first of all, back up, did you ever used to go to clubs?
Slightly.
Because I have to ask you that question. You're a different kind of woman.
Yes, really.
But when you did go out, you didn't feel comfortable in those certain spaces.
Correct.
To the point that that's what made you not want to go to the clubs anymore.
Right.
This is your club life right now. You are now in these spaces with people, places, jobs, careers, and nothing feels comfortable.
Right.
That is your body and your mentality telling you it's time to move around.
Right.
It is not a bad thing to leave old people in places. Okay. You have to outgrow things.
And that's what I feel like.
And that's all it is.
And
growth.
I made this post the other day. Always choose growth over comfortability. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I had to just delete myself and work on me, focus on me. And I felt like some people did take it offensively when I just completely stopped talking to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, you don't know what I got going on in my life. I battled depression like heavy. I was going through a thing at a moment, and it's like, okay, well, I felt like me talking to people and venting about it, it went nowhere. So I was like, you know what? I need to shut up, go in the corner and talk to God about it.
Well, that's because there's a difference between venting and coming up with a solution.
Right.
Like you can sit in a room full of people and tell every single thing that's going on in your life and that's bad. And they will be like, oh, girl, that's messed up. And that's the end of it. But you got to tell people who is not going to only listen to it, but say, okay, bitch, now what are you trying to do?
Right.
What do you want to do now? Because we've already said this is what's going on. How do we get out of the situation?
And the thing about that too,
no disrespect.
No. It's all good. I'm not tripping off that. But the thing is, I had to realize too, sometimes venting ain't always good. I remember one time I was at home and I was so mad about something and I wanted to call somebody and I just heard something say, shut up, just shut up and pray about it. Because at the end of the day, you don't know people's true intentions for you.
True.
That I was battling that. I didn't know and I'm such a loyal person. When I'm your friend, I'm your friend. Like I'm riding with you. it's me and you. Yeah, whatever you want to do, except for fight, because girl, them days is over. But I'm riding with you. I'm supporting you. I felt like I wasn't getting that energy back from the people I was talking to. I wasn't getting that energy back. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm in a dark place. I'm really entertaining folks that don't really have the best intentions for me. What am I doing? So I had to really take a step back and reevaluate who I was, because I can't be responsible for you.
Right.
I can only be accountable for me.
Right.
And
As
I
you
had to,
should.
and I had to take a step back because, to be honest, I'm a good friend. When I'm your friend, I'm your friend. Oh, you want to go out to eat? You ain't got it. I got you. But when you don't get that energy back, it's like, okay,
But you
why
gotta
am
be-
I forcing
But
it?
you got to be careful with that in a couple of different ways. One, I'm not sitting here saying that you're creating someone to leech off of you, because it's
Mhm.
not necessarily. You're creating a pattern of expectations.
Right.
So if an individual that you go and you spend time when this individual knows that, well, Tone is always going to take care of this. He's going to make sure this is good. He's going to make sure that is good. When it comes time for me to fall on hard times,
Mhm.
that person does not know how to pick up the slacks, because I've always been the one
Because you're-
responsible.
Yes. I'm tired. And that's the thing. I'm tired of being a strong friend. I'm tired of being the one that got to come and pick up the pieces of your broken life. And then when I'm broken, I'm sitting up here trying to pick up my pieces, your pieces, they pieces. No, I had to tell myself, you need to sit back and reevaluate you for you. And I made up my mind, and I literally stopped contacting folks. When folks contacted me, I was short, or sometimes I didn't respond. Let's keep it real. Once again, like I said, I'm in a season right now. Whatever God has for me, I don't want to miss it.
Sometimes
whatever-
you actually have to say you just ain't got it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we never want to tell the truth. Okay. It's been plenty
We
time.
never want to hurt people's feelings. We want to protect other people's feelings when ain't nobody protect. And I could go so deep with this, because it's just like, okay,
Well,
you want
we
to
on the
spare,
podcast. Let's
you want to
go.
spare people's feelings, right? You want to be that person because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But I'm sitting here thinking like, but when it come to me, everybody want to have this honest moment, or everybody want to put me in my place, and everybody want to. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna start being brutally honest, or I'm gonna go through the length of just cutting you off. And I'm one of them people. Once I cut you off, that's it. I walk past you in the street and act like I ain't never seen you before. I don't know you. I ain't never hung out with you. We ain't never broke bread. But once again, it's okay to have a selfish moment like that.
But you also have to be mindful. And the one thing I tell people is you have to understand where you need to put people at.
Correct.
I have friends, okay? And my friends have other friends that are connected to them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're friend adjacent. I'm cool with them. I ain't got no beef with them. We can all be out. We can have a great time. We can party. We can kick it. They're loyal to those who they're supposed to be loyal to. I'm not technically always considered in that group because we're friend adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
So we're out and about and all of us is kicking it. I don't expect for them to look out for me like I would naturally look out for everybody who's with me, because that's how I'm built.
Right.
So if I do something, I don't expect for them to be mindful of the outcome of what's being done. So if I'm throwing a party and you come to the party and something gets damaged, I don't expect for them to want to chip in to get it fixed, because they're not obligated to. Our
Makes
loyalty
sense.
is not there.
Right.
So you have to remind yourself, not everything is supposed to be for everybody. You don't give all of you to everybody the exact same way.
But see, that's me. That's how I am.
But that's what you have
And-
to learn in this new season.
Right.
So even though, let's say, those friends over there are not the same, are not on the same page with you anymore because you're going through an evolution right now, don't cut them off completely. You just leave them where they are. They may eventually evolve to where you are, so then y'all can get back on that same page. For this moment, you
Mhm.
stay over there. I'll communicate with you when I need to communicate with you, in the way I need to communicate with you, but I'm not going to put forth that effort. If
Right.
I decide to do something on Friday, I'm not going to pick up the phone and call people who I rarely talk to. I may go and do something on my own, or I definitely reach out to those who I consistently have evolved with.
And that's cool.
And it may end up leaving key people that you've known for 20 years behind.
Right. And it's okay. And I keep telling myself, and that's what I'm working on myself. Stop living in the past. Stop trying to take on other people's problems. Stop thinking that you owe somebody something. That was another thing that I battle with, like, oh, well, this person going through this, so I need no, I'm going through my own ordeal. I had to really change my way of thinking. I don't have no animosity towards nobody. I ain't got no beef towards nobody. I choose to be alone.
What you
I
have
don't have
to
friends,
do,
and I'm okay with not having friends.
what you have to do is change how you help that friend. You see, I got a group of friends where if someone said, I have to take care of something and I'm $100 short, those particular friends would immediately get the $100 with no question asked, and we'll figure out how you give me my money back later, if you even have to give it back to me at all.
Right.
You have to be a certain kind of friend to get to that level. But then I have friends who's like, Dag, I'm $100 short. Well, have you tried looking over here? Have you thought about this? Hey, download this app, because if you've been getting paid every month, they're going to just calculate how much you've been getting paid, and maybe they confront you. I'll give you ways to get it. So I'm still helpful, but I'm not giving you access to me for that
You're
help.
so helpful, because I feel like even in that takes energy.
It doesn't always have to, though.
But I'm saying in my case, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be, I'm an all-in friend. So even if I am loaning you this money, I still feel obligated now to check on you and see if you need anything else. And I'm not in that realm of having that energy.
You'll learn how to adjust that. And here's the reason why I said it, because I've been there.
But when I can tell you, I can honestly say that I haven't had a friend, not one time, to match my energy. So then I said, hold on. Then I said to myself, you need to fix you. You need to realize that you're giving too much energy to something, basically beating a dead horse. This is me speaking and being truthfully honest and transparent about the moment.
Okay.
I felt like I was just giving myself entirely too much to people that didn't give a rat's butt about what I had going on. How am I sitting here putting myself on the back burner for somebody else? If I'm not doing that for my kids, I shouldn't be doing that for nobody else. That's why I had to change my mind of, the way I was thinking. I had to renew my mind. I had to lose religion and really get a relationship with God, because I got to that point where I'm sitting here questioning God, and I'm like, am I having a spiritual awakening? Because I'm sitting here questioning God about things. And I remember him just saying, shut up. And once I heard that, I got it. I immediately stopped on social media. I immediately stopped talking to people. I've been in places. I remember it was an incident where I went to a friend's gathering and I was treated like so weird. And I'm like, how do you invite me somewhere and then I'm being treated like you don't even know me? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm in the wrong places at the wrong time. Something got to give, because I was like this close to snapping on everybody around me. I was like this close to snapping. I'm like, nope, you know what? I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to reevaluate some things. And unfortunately, this is the way, the outcome. But I can tell you one thing, I'm at peace. I don't have nobody texting my phone call, talking crazy. Ain't nobody stopping at my house talking crazy. I'm not getting no crazy inboxes. Ain't nobody tagging me in statuses on Facebook. I had all that stuff going on. And I'm like, for what? How's this helping me grow as a person?
True.
How's this helping me? I'm about to be 40 years old. I'm already feeling like I'm on the back burner boat, with my colleagues. I'm about to be 40. It's so much stuff I need to still do. I need to buy a house. I'm trying to get established in my career. I don't have time for foolishness. I really had to drop that, even with some church some church stuff. I was like, okay, you know what? I don't have to have religion to have God. I don't need to have religion to have a relationship with God. And there was so many people like, well, if you about God, you got to walk it. You got to talk it. But who am I walking and talking for? Am I walking and talking for you, or am I walking and talking for God? Because church people get you so caught up in the church way. You got to be a part of a certain group. You got to be this, you got to be that. But how's this helping me build my relationship with God? Me playing by the rules of the church, me being a part of the team number 7, me making sure y'all, I'm helping hand out dinners, this, that, and the third. How's that helping me grow my relationship?
It's a 50-50 in regards to that, because that is supposed to help you because I'm not a huge church person. So the answer I give you, I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing at the exact same time.
And me either.
It's supposed to help you create community and bring you to more like-minded people. One of the biggest things about the church culture, and I have to say culture because it doesn't matter what religion you follow it, they all kind of have the same ideology.
Right.
When you are part of a church organization, you're part of a community, and it's only a successful journey for a lot of them is if you are surrounded by those same like-minded people. It's like saying, and I know this is a terrible analogy, but it's probably the closest I can come up with. It's like when an addict kicks an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
If you are around other addicts who have also kicked this addiction, you have more hope and more faith that you can continue with a normal life away from the problem. But if you kick the addiction, but then you go back into the same environment that led to you getting in that position to begin with, the likelihood of you going back down that path is even greater. So with the church community, if you're trying to build your relationship with God, being around the essence of what God is supposed to embody is supposed to help you have a better understanding of what not only the walk is supposed to look like, but the outcome of those who walk in the path. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. And I'm going to agree to disagree because I've been, I was married into the church.
I'm on the same side of the coin with you, but I've also grown to the point where let me sit back and let me look at your perspective. Right. Even though I might not agree with your perspective, right, let me understand your perspective.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what I got from that.
And then from the outside looking, from the inside looking out, like I said, I was married into the church. Before that, I was in church, of course, but I went from Baptist to Kojic. So I know what that looks like. And I feel like, I don't know if that necessarily helps somebody's walk with God. And I'm not saying all churches, don't get me wrong. I'm not, bashing all churches, right? But I'm just saying this is where I'm at. This is my stigma right now. Me being around a group of folks every single Sunday. Okay. If I come in with a mini skirt on and I've been at church, right? I'm helping with the choir. I'm staying after cleaning up. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. The moment I come in and do something that somebody doesn't like, I'm automatically judged. All that good favor and stuff that I did for the church, I'm helping out. I'm automatically judged.
Okay.
You can't tell me it ain't one church with the old women now.
No. I'm
that's
not
gonna judge you.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And this is my thing. Everybody has their own set. I don't want to preach to y'all, but y'all gonna listen to this. No, everybody has their own walk with God, right?
Of course.
I want to get to know him, and I have to have a relationship with him.
Right.
But I'm not gonna go somewhere where I can't completely be myself. Okay. Or the moment I do something that Sister Mary didn't like, I'm automatically I'm thrown into the sea of abomination. Okay. Just put me in Babylon now because I did something that one person don't like. That's why I'm saying we have to transform our minds. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, God is love. Right. No matter what. We shouldn't be judging nobody. Gay people that do anything that ain't of the Bible. Who are we to judge? Who are we to put somebody in a box?
Okay.
And I've been subject to that. So I'm just like, I question God about this stuff. Like,
here's the thing.
Am I going to go to hell because I'm not going to church every Sunday to deal with Sister Mary and Margaret? And the moment I come in with jeans on, I'm being judged. That's not going to get me into heaven.
Here's the thing.
Or hell.
And I want you to hear me and I want you to understand. Okay. Christianity, okay, is the only religion where all the rules are about as loose as English, where it's always an exception to the rules, or you can view things from this perspective, or you can view things from that perspective. Nothing's cut and dry in Christianity. Right. That's part of the problem.
Right.
A lot of it has to do with the history of Christianity as a whole, which is a whole nother show within itself. But at the end of the day, because Christianity has the ability to be so many different denominations and in different interpretations, a lot of things are perceived differently. But then in the Christian faith, you have two types of people. And no matter how you look at it, you have two basic types of people: those who were born into the belief and those who converted into the belief.
Right.
Okay. The ones who are born into the belief tend to treat church and the rules that govern their particular church and denomination
Mhm.
as if they're the gatekeepers.
Right.
Okay. They come into the scenario and they feel like if you don't fit this particular mold, which is what they were born into the believing and was raised and taught and handed down from generations of generations of manipulated mindsets, you're a problem. But
Mhm.
because they've been born into the church and they've been born into this, they've been indoctrinated into this type of mentality. When you're trying to create new followers and trying to convert new followers, there's always going to be a mentality of disdain for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
If you are a woman who has been in church for 50 years and then all of a sudden the new generation, you already got a problem with the new generation because you don't understand the new generation.
Right.
Then because you use church, not God, but church as your divine guidance of how you do everything,
Mhm.
and you've dedicated your life to said church, you look at the world through rose-colored glasses. So you don't see things for what they really are. So you don't understand that this woman who may have just came to your church may have been in a domestic violence situation.
Right.
And the clothes that she has on her back at that given time was probably the only clothes that was given to her by a shelter. So by her coming to your church and trying to find her way and trying to learn how to improve her life so she can walk in a better path, you judging her, regardless of why you're judging her, is the reason why she doesn't feel safe in this particular scenario. But the answer those types of people will give you is you have to find the church home that fits you. If this church home don't fit you, maybe you need to find another church. And this is why I say Christianity is a little bit too loose, because that's exactly what we do. If you don't like this church over here, go to this church over here. If you don't like that church, go to this church over here. You should not have to jump from organization to organization just to find something that makes you happy. It's like saying, I have a Burger King on the corner of my house, even though they sell the same burgers as the rest of them, because I don't like this Burger King, I'm going to go ahead and go to the one over here on Fond du Lac instead. Or no, I don't like that one because niggas be nigging.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and go to Burger King over here on 108th and National. No, I don't like that one. I shouldn't have to do all of that just to get a Whopper with cheese, no onion. I should not have to make all these different adjustments to feel comfortable.
And
This
once
is,
again, I ask, how does that get me into heaven? How does that,
and that's the whole thing.
right? How does that give me a better relationship with God when I feel like the people that I'm supposed to be able to be around to get the encouragement, or you know what I'm saying, lay on my face and cry, or I'm being judged because I woke up late and I had to put on a jogging suit.
But this is why the pandemic shook up the church's core.
Yeah.
Because with us not having to be in person, and we have to start doing a lot of our worshiping online, a lot of people came to the realization that the institution of the church house is not necessary to be able to obtain the word. 97% of most Black churches this day and age now have the sermon portion available to be watched online.
Mhm.
You maybe even watch it live. I know for a fact that my church that the family attends, which is right down the street from here,
Mhm.
they go live every Sunday for the sermon part. I hate the whole theatrics of church.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that I'm sitting in church for damn near 5 hours
Right.
just for me to get 45 minutes of word. When now that I can just turn on YouTube at about 1:30 and I can get the whole sermon, because that's what I'm really here for. I'm not here for the
Exactly.
experience.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like, you know, at some point, and everybody gonna have that moment with God when you just like, listen, I'm here. This ain't working for me. This, you can't tell me that since I'm not going here, that I'm gonna be condemned to hell because I'm not going and fellowshipping with folks that I know some of them don't even like me. That's what I'm saying. We need to lose religion, and I lost my religion. I have a wonderful relationship with God when I drop religion. I got a wonderful relationship when I can go in the bathroom at work and just pray, because I had to lose my religion instead of texting Sister Mary when I got a problem. Or you get so caught up in that, and it's about titles and, you know, evangelists and this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here like, so y'all telling me that it's okay for y'all to put labels on yourselves and judge half of the congregation, and then you going to heaven?
Here's the thing, and this is something that I had to learn a long time ago. Spirituality and religion are not parallel. They are
Correct.
not synonyms of each other. You can be a spiritual individual where you walk on the path with God, okay, and do not have to be tied down to the religious construct
Yes.
of being a Christian, being a Muslim, being Buddhist, being whatever, Catholic, Jewish. You don't have to be tied to those constructs
Correct.
to be able to have the walk with God that you need. Because let's be honest, today's society, the concept of God is constantly in question to begin with.
Right. And it's just like, is this a Sunday thing? Are you only worshiping and, up there having a show and shouting and taking off your shoes? And are you doing that every day of the week? Or is this just a show? I had all these questions and I'm sitting here just in the room talking to God, like, you got to help me understand this. Because on the other hand, I'm telling people, you need to go to church. You need to, church is good for your soul and cleanse your soul. My dad's a pastor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't go to his church. Nothing against him, because that's what he want to do. He want to run the church, and but I know how that go. It's messy. That's why I'm telling people, you got to lose religion at some point, because
You
it ain't
do.
all about a relationship when you caught up in the religion.
Right,
You
and
caught up
that's-
in the selling dinners. You caught up in the cleaning the
But
church.
that's the thing. The religion point gives some people purpose.
Understood.
And that's why you have to understand that, are you here to walk with God, or are you looking for a purpose?
Exactly.
If you can answer that question honestly with yourself, it will make a difference of how you walk from there on out. Because some people need that church home. They need to belong to something. They need to be connected to a community that, like I said, once again, help you get away from your old mentality.
And it's not to cut you off again, but even in that, it's just like, so you going every Sunday, you with your church family, you know what I'm saying? You fellowshipping, this, that, and the other. There's no way you should feel lost. There's no way you should feel like you don't know what's next. There's no way you should feel like you alone. There's no way, if church is supposed to make you feel away. And I got so angry. And like I said, I've been doing church a long time. You know what I'm saying? Just recently, I don't go to church since the pandemic. Of course, I wasn't going into church because of
Right.
whatever, COVID, whatever. But I made a choice that I'm losing religion. And I don't really care if people feel like, well, you should have those kids in church. No, my kids know how to pray. My kids know who God is. And I think that matters more than me getting up every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, going to fellowship with people, and then I leave feeling a type of way.
Right.
You ain't never supposed to leave somewhere where you're supposed to get those weights lifted and feel heavier.
Right.
There ain't no way.
part
And
of-
there ain't no way that you're going to tell me that I'm going to hell because I don't go to church every Sunday.
Look, one thing that we can all collectively agree upon, that nobody has been able to tell us what the afterlife looks like.
Right.
They can go based on stories that could have been somebody's interpretation of a wild ass dream while probably doing shrooms and called it revelations.
Right.
But we don't personally know. We don't know nobody who's physically have gone there, came back, was like, man, I went to heaven, bro, and it was clouds. Nobody really knows what happens after you die.
Right.
So because nobody truly knows what happens when you die, no one can truly condemn you to be someplace when you don't even know the true criteria to get there.
Exactly. And I just say this, and it's because I really had a spiritual awakening with God. And it's just like, I've been spending all my time going to church and doing this, and not once have I heard God's voice. But when I cut everything off, when I cut social media, when I cut off talking to certain people, when I cut off all types of mess, now all of a sudden I'm hearing God's voice. Now I'm able to pray with clarity. I know what to pray for. That's why I'm like, I'm not about to miss the mark God has for me. That's why I was sitting being uncomfortable. That's why I was sitting feeling like I didn't know what was next, because I was just around all this stuff, all this noise, all people in my ear. You know what I'm saying? People judging me, telling me what I need to do. And I'm like, well, God, if I'm, I'm doing what you want me to do, how come you're not talking to me and telling me what I need to do? Being caught up in people's judgment. That's something like, lose the religion. Get your own conversations and relationships going with God. Ain't nobody going to be able to tell me that I'm going to go to hell because I don't go to church every Sunday and fellowship. You can't tell me that. When I die and go to heaven, and this is what I believe happens, when all of it's said and done and I'm standing before God, you think he gonna ban me to hell because I wasn't at church, or he gonna ban me to hell because I didn't have my own personal relationship? That's what I want people to get. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that because the few days that I've been scrolling through Facebook, I've been seeing the craziest posts. Like
Facebook has crazy posts, period.
Yeah, but if you a Christian, I need to see you walk and talk and be a Christian. You got to show me you a Christian. Who are you? Who made you God?
Nobody.
Who made you the judge be all to tell me that I have to show you that I'm about God? You're not God. You don't know what relationship. You don't know how I pray. You don't know what I got going on. But for somebody to say that I need to physically see and you got to walk it, talk it, believe it. I know some things that you shouldn't do if you're saying that you all about God. It's all about your spirituality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just because that person smoke weed don't mean they ain't got a relationship with God. We got to stop with and that's why I say just renew your own mind. Refresh your way of thinking. Stop having people tell you what you need to do for you. You know what I'm saying? Stop having people tell you what you need to sacrifice to get this. I had somebody telling me like, well, if you stop this and just actually do this gonna work. And I'm like, that worked for you. So what make you think that's right for me?
It's all about the delivery, because I understand that right there.
I can't stand it. It bothers me.
I get you, because I can sit here and say, if you stop spending, I use my brother as a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My brother current living situation fits him. But for somebody of his age on the outside looking in, a lot of people would judge him for his living situation. I could easily say, bro, if you stop buying A, B, C, D and spending your money on this, you can save what you need to be able to put yourself in a better position.
Right.
Now, I could do that. But here's the thing. I also have to remind myself, he's not in the position he's in because he's down bad. He's in the position he's in because he wants to be, and there's a secondary reason behind the scene that if you do not talk to him and ask him, hey bro, why do you choose to do this? You would not know the story that goes along with it.
Right.
So for people who tell you if you stop doing this, you can be here, and it sounds more of a judgmental thing than an actual legitimate, let me help you on your journey. That's because they don't want to know the whole story.
And that's the thing. We so quick to pass judgment on each other. It's just so much I learned because I've really been praying and reading and really taking myself to another place, like spiritually and mentally. And I'm just like, we pass so much judgment between us. And I don't get it because ain't nobody perfect. Let's just start with that. Why are we so quick to pass judgment, and mostly on our loved ones? I don't get that. The people that you love the most are the ones you choose to pass the most judgment on. If I knew something like internally that could help you, I'm going to pass the information on, right? Whatever you choose to do with that information is on you. But because I love you and I want to see you succeed, I'm going to share this information. If you choose to do it, or if you choose to go another path, why is that my business? Or what makes me better than you to call you out on it? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm in that realm. Like, listen, we all got a purpose. We all got to go. Everybody trying to make it to something. If you're not helping me, you hurting me. If you're not encouraging me, why are you around me? If you're not speaking love and light into me, why do you want to be around me? And I'm sorry, but that's why I had to reevaluate my circle.
Right.
I had to reevaluate my life, because if I'm out with you for 3 hours and I'm like, yeah, I want to get out the house, I'm feeling kind of down, blah, 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 blah. If I go hang out with you for 3 hours and I come back feeling worse, what was the point?
True.
I don't want to be that friend to nobody. I want to be the friend that encourages. I want to be the friend that uplifts. I don't want to be around nobody that ain't talking about elevating and getting to the next level. That's where I'm at. I don't want to be lusted after. I don't want to get on inboxes saying how beautiful I am. I don't want to hear that. That part of me is gone. I don't need that attention. And at one time I craved that attention because my self-esteem was so low.
You crave that attention because of what you got, what you had just left prior to before.
But I think that's any woman. At some point, you go through stuff where you just want the attention. And I don't know if I'm saying this to help somebody. You don't need that. Believe me, it hurts you more than it helps you. because you putting yourself in another situation
Right.
to be back at square A.
Right.
It don't mean nothing to me. I know I'm not an ugly person. I know that, and I appreciate compliments, but I don't need it. Somebody told me once you hit 40, the judgment of others just lifts. It goes away.
It was so funny because when I turned 40, I was like, bro, I don't know what it is, but I really have I don't give a fuck mentality right now.
You stop caring.
Like,
and
I literally did not
hit the
give
mark,
a fuck.
and I'm so grateful that I hit that mark earlier. Things that used to bother me don't bother me no more. You could sit here and tell me a whole story about how you hate me, this, that, and the other. You think I should be doing this? All I can say is thank you, and I'm praying for you because I don't care.
I don't even say that.
I'm at peace.
I'll be like, oh, you know what? I take that in consideration, and I go on because I'm not gonna give you the energy to reject you.
Yes,
because to reject you means I have to give you the energy enough to not care about what you said. Because if I reject you, you may come back with a rebuttal of why you should follow what I say. And now I've engaged in something that I don't have the energy or care about doing.
You put your energy and time into thinking what that person thinks about you.
Right. So now at this point in time, they be like, what time I think you should do A, B, C, D, bro? Because this is what it is. I'm like,
and you know what, bro? You get to a point where people know now not to don't even waste your breath with your opinion to me. Don't even give me, because I'm so at peace with my life. Y'all don't understand. Before I did quit social media, I was not at peace with myself. I cared about what everybody had to say. I wanted to catch up with the Jones. I'm like, no, I got to work 10 times harder than this person because I'm already 5 years behind. You see what I'm saying? I was in that situation, and now I'm at peace. Whatever God has for me, it ain't going to pass me up. That's what I know. It's not going to pass me up. I can't miss my mark. God got something for me. I'm not going to miss my mark. I'm not about to hang out with people that have no intentions of doing better. I can't do it. I can't, because then I'm sitting here. I feel like I'm walking backwards.
But you're not wrong though.
No. And I feel like sometimes elevation takes isolation. Sometimes you have to be alone, because I can't listen. And it's so crazy because I was telling somebody about a job.
Right.
Just randomly talking about it. They said every discouraging word to me they possibly could about the job. And I'm just sitting here like, I was really telling you to apply for yourself.
It's not
but
for
just
everybody.
Because I'm telling you that blah, 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 and I'm moving on into this season, you said every discouraging word to me that you could. And it just reminded me that you safe in your corner. This is why you don't come out your corner. This is why you don't talk to people, because it's the energy. I can't take certain energies no more.
See, we live in a society where the art of being alone is scary to people.
It is.
Because they're scared to deal with their own inner thoughts.
Yes.
And more importantly, people are scared to deal with their own inner trauma.
Yep.
Okay. So if you have to be alone and deal with stuff by yourself, then you have to actually look at who you are.
The best thing you can do for yourself.
A lot of people are not ready to accept that they are actually shitty people.
Right.
Okay. People don't want to accept the fact that the way they are going about doing things is actually very shitty.
But before, weren't we talking about accountability? How nobody's ready to take accountability for self.
And I think when we hit that 40, I don't give a care.
Yes.
Because in your because here's the thing, and I had to break this down to some high school kids because my nephews and his friends was over by the house. When I said I was 40 years old, they was like, but you listen to Lil Durk and you play Call of Duty and you do all this and all that. Like, hey, don't old people do other things? It's like, first of all, I ain't old. Old is a mentality. Okay?
I be old. Thank God. It's a blessing to get old.
It was like, old is a mentality, and I'm not even remotely close to what I'm supposed to be. But I had to tell them, life comes to you in sections of 10.
Okay.
From 0 to 10, you're just learning how to navigate life as a little kid. You can't do nothing on your own. So you're learning how to work towards needing people and communicate with people. You do that to your 10.
Right.
From 10 to 20, you're learning how to navigate life on your own from a social aspect. How do I interact with people who are not in my household? Which is why teenage years are so tricky. Your body is changing.
Right.
The world looks at you differently. You look at the world differently. You're coming up with your own individuality. From the age of 20 to 30, you're navigating adulthood. You're learning what independency looks like.
Right.
30 to 40 is you're learning accountability. How do you learn and grow from the mistakes that you made from 0 to 30?
Right.
What molded you into that? Once you hit 40 to 50 is learning how to accept where you are.
Right.
Because at 20, you came up with a goal that you're supposed to do A, B, C, and D. By 40, you may not have hit that goal, or you may did it out of order. 40, you're supposed to learn how to accept you are where you are. 40 until the day you die is all it's supposed to be living within your own truth. So when you hit 40, you're supposed to learn how to enjoy the life that you've been, because technically you're at the halfway point.
Right.
Okay. So you're now supposed to just live everything out. So the minute I turned 40 and I didn't give a fuck about what nobody else cared, because you're not paying my bills.
Right.
You're not driving my car for me. You're not feeding my kids. You're not paying for my business unless you work for TDR,
Right.
Which is a whole nother story, because I have to provide a service to get that.
Right.
At the end of the day, you don't control my happiness. You can get on social media and say whatever you want to about me.
Right.
I can click that off. Whatever you're saying no longer matters, because I guarantee you in 5 days, whatever was said about me on social media does not even fucking matter
It'll
anymore.
be forgotten.
Okay.
It'll be forgotten. And that's the point I'm at. You know, I told somebody the other day, this is me. You can take it or leave it. But any way it go, I'm at peace. Ain't nobody finna come between me and my peace. I don't care what you say, what you do, how you take what I say. But, you know, it's just time out for a lot of stuff. I also, in my sabbatical, realized my worth. I'm a great woman. I'm so full of love and light. Why would I allow somebody to put me in a box of being lusted after, or put me in a box of just being your sex buddy? What do I look like? That's not me. And then I'm putting more miles on my body and lowering my self-worth for what? 20 minutes?
But
if
a lot of that comes from, well, who the fuck you fucking with? You
I'm just saying in general. I mean, literally, you get ready. By the time you get over there, the whole ordeal is 20. I don't have, listen, my time is precious. And if you don't appreciate who I am, I'm not about to sit here and just have you just because I can have you that way. Oh, well, I'll just deal with that just so I can. No.
You do know that this generation is heavy on sexual gratification, because this generation, let me rephrase that. This generation of Black people are so heavily saturated on sexual gratification, because this generation of Black people don't know how to bring any other type of value to the table.
You know, and it's true. And that's another thing. This world is so evil. I was just scrolling through my timeline, you know, all these women getting, you know, murdered by these men. And, you know, and I feel like, once again, I don't want to miss my mark. You know, God has a purpose for me. I can't be caught up with you and I miss the mark that God got for me. Listen, when Lauren London said that, it hit so hard. You know, I don't want to get caught up in a man and having a casual relationship with you. And you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be doing things and expanding my career and doing stuff for my children, but I'm caught up with you. And the only thing I'm getting out of this is pleasure, which half the time it don't even be that. Like, help me understand that. I don't have time for that. I'm at peace in my life. You know, and stuff like that don't even cross my mind. Being dated and talking to, for what? I have a life partner, and we, you know, if I need something or he needs something, we good. You know, I don't have to have a title as having a man or, you know, a fiance. And it's a lot of people on Facebook that just got to have somebody. Why you got to have somebody all the time?
Because
it don't make sense.
Being alone is scary.
But my whole thing is, you continue to jump from relationship, and I'm not judging, but I'm saying then you wonder why things fail for you. I'm telling you, I'm a witness. Take out time, have a relationship with God. Stuff will be so much clearer for you. I ain't talking about going to church. I'm talking about having a relationship with God. It matters. I swear to you, it matters. It brings you so much peace. Can't nobody do nothing to make me sad no more. I control my own destiny. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, I'm in charge of my own happiness. It don't matter if you get with 10 people or 5. They don't control your happiness. You are controlling your happiness. You will control what you allow around you. Some stuff I just don't tolerate in my circle. People used to pop up at my house all the time and then they leave and then I'm feeling away. That's because you allowing unnecessary energy around you. I can't do that no more. And that's just where I am. And I feel like me letting go of social media so hard, it helped me control a lot of that stuff. Because let's keep it real. Everybody's looking for attention at some point. It's not the attention I want no more.
As you should.
I'm in a spiritual awakening. I only want what God wants for me. If it ain't for me, it ain't for me. That's why we force things. That's why we get into these situationships and we wonder why it's complete hell. Because you're not sitting down listening to God. Because if you really sit down and be quiet, oh, he gonna talk to you. You gonna hear it. I'm telling y'all, it's so much solace and just sitting still and really listening to God, getting people out your ear, stay in your corner for a little while. I ain't saying that I ain't gonna ever go back to, having friends and hanging out, but right now it's not the season for me to do that. It's just not. I want to be established and happy in my own life.
It's not the reason for the season.
No, right. It ain't the reason for the season right now. And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I used to feel bad like I'm having a selfish moment. It is okay because I'm the best me that I've ever been right now.
You have to stop thinking anything you do for you is selfish.
At first, I thought that way. Now I don't.
Because the world made it seem that way.
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes in the world was we allowed people to determine what self-love looks like. Okay. And it says self in the title. So if you go out and you do what makes you happy,
right,
and it's not bringing harm to anybody, hindering you from handling your responsibilities,
right,
or keeping you away from those who you care about, do what you're supposed to do. I tell everybody that Black women are the hardest on themselves because society made it seem like y'all have to always be strong.
Or we have to have a big butt. Or, and I said this a million times over, y'all, Facebook is so, listen, you have to really control what you allow your spirit to manifest or being fed, let me say. It's a lot of stuff that I just don't allow myself to watch. You scrolling through Facebook and, men posting these women with these bodies and these big butts, and y'all don't realize that then women feel like they got to have that body to have a man. So here you go, you going to get a $10,000 BBL, you know what I'm saying? And then after you get your body done, you still ain't got the man of your dreams because he just using you because of your body.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That is a young woman's mentality.
It's not. It's more grown women. And even with me, it's very intimidating for me to go on Facebook and I'm scrolling and you seeing all these men sharing these pictures of these women that got their body done. You're telling
me that there's 40-year-old women out here getting their ass done.
Are you kidding me? I believe it's more older women than younger. Where you been under a rock?
I must have been.
That and it's society
now,
and I had to learn. Okay,
so let me make sure because it makes a difference.
You better Google it.
Okay, let's make a difference.
Okay, Deshauna, yes, that's the truth. Wait, let me end. That's right, because I'm telling you,
that is
society
why
makes us
TV.
And social media. It makes us feel that we less than. Oh, you gotta have a big butt to talk to me, and I ain't talking to nobody that got this, that, and the third. Are you thinking about what you lacking? I feel like everything is always a compromise because ain't nobody perfect. You know what I'm saying? And that I don't get it. I just don't get it because that messes with a woman.
It does.
It messes with a woman. So I don't think people realize that. And then you telling me that you want to date me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't look like the women that you posting on your Facebook page. Once again, social media is an illusion. It's an illusion.
I
can't live in that illusion. I'll post stuff now and then, but it's always positive. I allow myself a certain time to scroll on social media and then I'm done. Because you have to watch what you allow your spirit to be fed.
Personally, and this is what I've always said, when it comes to social media, there are two different types of people on there: people who want to pretend to be something that they're not in reality,
Mhm.
and then people who use it as an expression of their reality.
Right.
Okay. I can go on social media and I use it from a business point of view. If you pay attention to one of my pages is strictly business.
Okay.
The other one is just me literally just saying what's on my mind and having conversation with people who I'm already associated with. I don't go out there and use it for anything more than that. But you have some people who will go on social media and project something completely different than what they are because they're unhappy with their lives. So if I go and I live in this realm of fiction and I portray myself as a successful
virtual
young
reality
man individual
Yeah.
who I get all the bitches and I post photos that make it look like I'm living this wealthy life,
Mhm.
I'm going to fake it until I make it.
Okay.
And that's literally what they do. And now you'll come across an individual who you may have a little attraction to. And now this individual is presuming that this is what you really are. We use Instagram models as an example all the time because most Instagram models are a prime example of a chick who could be living just a regular, ordinary, everyday life, but with the uses of makeup, cosmetics, angles, if they haven't physically gone and got body mortification done to themselves, but just making themselves look and seem like they're so much on a higher status.
Because being them is not accepted.
But being them is not what they want to be to begin with.
But realistically, I mean, you just got to look at it from this standpoint. Being yourself is not popular on social media.
But
of course,
why?
what gets likes more? A woman with makeup on, with a bikini on, that gets likes. You know, a girl posting a picture or a girl talking about sex or whatever, that's going to get more attention than a normal person.
True. But at the same time, you can't complain about the kind of attention you get. If
Correct.
you are, this is my only thing. If you are projecting yourself from a sexually gratifying POV, okay, you cannot get upset by the simple fact that you have thirsty men in your DMs doing everything from making sexual references to offering you money for sexual favors, or even people diving in your inbox telling you you don't need to do all this. You're a beautiful woman as is. You can't get upset when that happens, because if the individual who attention you really wanted dove in your inbox doing the exact same thing of, hey, what you doing once you come through, you're going to jump through those hoops to get over there because you got what you wanted.
It's attention
by what you projected.
Exactly. What I was saying earlier is how you are perceived on Facebook. When I used to make those little funny, I think I had wrote a post, this was maybe a year ago, that, men that pay all the bills deserve threesomes. Okay.
Which they do, but most of them can't
My
handle it.
inbox was flooded. But I'm just saying, my inbox was flooded just because I made that comment. Now, I could imagine a girl that's in her drawers or, you know what I'm saying, in a bikini. I could imagine what her inbox looked like. It's the perception of things. But for men to say, well, I don't know where you get that idea from that I like girls with fat butts. Well, I can go on your social media and see that's what you posted. Does that make sense? Like, I don't get it. And then y'all wonder why so many women are so self-conscious about themselves. I used to be that woman. I'm not no more. You gonna get it how it is, or you not gonna have it.
Well,
and I don't have time for that either. But I'm not in the realm of pleasing nobody. This is it. This is what you get. If that's what you like, that's what you need to find. Okay. If that's your type, then you shouldn't even be entertaining me.
Okay, but self-consciousness, when it comes to women, is universally being perpetuated no matter where you are.
Because of society
as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay. To the point where movies that we go and enjoy portray women in a certain body type. And if you are not in this particular body type category,
right,
you're always giving roles that are less deemed attractive, or supporting cast roles, or the villain in some cases.
Yeah. Or even with, like the BBW trend. It was a trend. Now, if it wasn't a trend on Facebook, would everybody be liking BBWs? Be honest.
But take in consideration, we have fat boy season. So for us big men, no one cared about us until it decides to get cold outside and you're supposed to get a big nigga to love up under.
See, but that's why I tell people, you got to know the difference between reality and virtual reality. Okay, there is a difference. Like I said, everybody wanted to hop on the BBW train because that's what people were doing. I just don't get it. That's why I said I had to back away from social media. You cannot renew your mind being caught up in a reality world.
I agree with
You cannot renew your mind, and I had to renew the way I think. I only think positive now. Can't nobody make me feel bad. Can't nobody make me, put me in a negative mood, because it's about the energy that you allow around you. Point blank, period. And you can even get on Facebook. It don't even have to be a human interaction. You could be on Facebook reading something, and all of a sudden you in a bad mood because of somebody's status. That was bad energy.
Hold on, I got it. Deshauna knows she be writing too.
Go ahead and read
much.
her comment out loud.
I love this girl to death, but damn, she be right.
I love her too. Hey, girl.
Don't be hanging my ex. I'm just kidding. They think that it's self-love and it's maintenance. Nothing wrong with it, but some do all of this to themselves and don't really genuinely love themselves and don't know where to start. Once they've grown to love themselves, them posting half-naked pictures will stop because they understand and know you meant to say work, but you said work. Okay.
Listen, and that was even with me. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, when I was lonely and didn't want to be, you don't want to sit in your thoughts. You don't want to, I'm trying to heal, blah, blah, but I still want attention. I would make attention thirsty posts.
We all know y'all thirst trap.
No, not me anymore. I used to be that person.
There comes a point in time where everybody does the attention seeking.
Right. But that's it. In my age, I feel like it ain't for me no more. You sweep it under the rug. It don't matter what nobody think about me. You could have the worst to say about me. You could have had a bad experience about me. If you still living in that, that's on you. I'm a different person. I'm not going to allow nobody to make me feel bad about the past. I'm living in the future. Once again, if you're not here to help me elevate, or you not on the same train I'm on, we don't have nothing in common. We can't have a conversation.
But here's the problem.
Nothing.
That is the mentality that people feel like you should have in your 20s. Some people
Somebody said that too. Their minds are in their 20s.
Yeah, a lot of people. I'll get to that in one moment because that just brought up something that I had.
Hey, Ashley.
And you both brought up something.
Hey, Tanya. I don't know if they still watching. I'm just saying hey to these people.
You just say it because that's what we're doing.
Hey, Michelle.
A lot of people reach that mentality earlier than others. Sometimes it takes one relationship and you realize I don't want to deal with that bullshit. And then they want someone who's going to sit there and elevate them. Other people, sometimes they enjoy the attention of being fun and free. There's a lot of men who are in their 40s and should damn near can say in their 50s who are still living off their high school popularity mentality.
It's way too many of y'all. I ain't pointing at you, but it's so true. Like, listen, if you were a basketball star in 2000, baby, let it go. You can't live on that forever. You can't run on that clout forever. We 40. Let it go. Like, I was just saying something about that. Like, if you were popular in high school, baby, let it go.
And this is not
the bird is flown.
This is not a knock on anybody who does this. But when I find people who have been out of high school for more than 15 years, and number one, the only school they have posted on their Facebook is their high school.
That's
and
it.
They always jump in these high school conversations, make me laugh. Like, I don't. I'm gonna say something that Milwaukee. If anybody from Milwaukee listen, they gonna be mad. But
this is for y'all.
I am so sick and tired of these Rufus King conversations. Like, y'all be 25 years since you've been in high school and y'all still jump in these Riverside Rufus King conversations like nobody can. You should not care about the state of the high school that you went to when you haven't been there in a long time. I went to North Division. I fucking loved my high school. Yes, I did.
Thanks.
Don't even say it like that because we had mad
Wash
fun.
Wash house.
Yes, I know. You make them bad life choices. That's a different story.
Blame my mom. Hi, Mom. Hey.
Hey, I live 3 blocks from North Division. That's actually
that's cool. Neighborhood school.
Right. And it was cool.
But it's for men too. But I feel like it's for everybody because people don't want to accept the now them. And I had a problem with
but
that.
that's what I'm saying. But in high school, they were the man, though.
But see, they don't want to let that go. I'm
And
telling
they
you.
don't, because
And it
that was their last moment. That was their
me.
You remember what's the show, Married with Children, right?
Yeah.
You remember how Al Bundy constantly kept talking about the football game at Polk High where he scored
But that's
5
because that was
touchdowns.
the height of their life.
But that was his height of his life.
Yeah.
And that is what's happening now.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, a lot of people are they're down. They're going down because their height of their light was in high school.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to look past that. They do not know how to accept the fact that what happened in high school was it. It was done. It's a wrap. You will never have that moment in life again. That was the very last time you were able to be irresponsible.
It's okay to live in your past, but you know, and it was me too. I'm telling y'all, I was in deep depression. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was so depressed because I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be in life. You know, I felt like I owed my kids more. I felt like, now, mind you, I done been to school and I got 3 degrees. Well, 2 degrees and a certificate. You know what I'm saying? I get up, I go to work every day. I pay my bills. I make sure my kids got what they need. Sometimes I'll get them what they want if they acting right. You know what I'm saying? And I had to sit back and tell myself, like, why isn't this enough? And I really felt like I had to accept where I was in the now. You looking, and all I did was I got to buy a house. I got to get established in a career so I can have a retirement plan. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I had to tell myself, stop. Just be thankful for where you are right now.
Big fact. And I think that's what a lot of people don't know how to do.
Because once you elevate, once you in a stage of elevation, you'll understand. I didn't feel like I was going nowhere. And I'm once again, when you clouded, when everybody in your ear, when you ain't giving yourself a minute to sit alone, you can't hear nobody. You can't hear God tell you, sit down and shut up. And
because
maybe if
people
you shut up,
don't want, first of all, people don't want to accept the fact that they have failed at something.
Right.
Okay. I personally went through a state of depression, and I would not deny I didn't go through it because
it's hard.
I blew opportunities on top of opportunities because I was basically stuck in my ways. Okay. Lucky for me, all this happened in my 20s. And, you know, like when you're young, you think that once you get to 30, you're old, right?
Right.
So when I made
the clock is ticking.
Right. So when I made all these mistakes in my 20s, I fell into a depression because I felt that because I blew these opportunities, I blew my military opportunity, I blew my career opportunities, I blew my school opportunities, I blew all these different opportunities because I always felt that I can find something better.
Yeah.
That when I got to that point, I didn't realize I needed those opportunities to get to the better that I needed. So when I tried to go back, now the struggle was even greater.
Right.
So now I'm depressed because I put myself in a position where I have to work 2-3 times harder to get to somewhere, when at the end of the day, that just wasn't supposed to be my path.
And that's the thing. And you realize that you like, you know what? That had to happen for me to get to this point. Everybody hates failure. You know, I felt terrible about having a failed marriage, and now my kids don't get to experience a 2-parent household. You know what I'm saying? And that used to weigh on me so tough. I got my judgment got clouded, and I'm just sitting here like, this ain't helping you achieve no goals to do better. Sitting there lingering about your past, you know what I'm saying? Being depressed about what should have been and could have been. That's not helping me. So once I decided to get off the pity party boat and really sit back and take a look and do some self accountability, you know what I'm saying? And start working on me. Because sometimes you can be your own problem. You can be the one blocking your own blessings because you're not listening.
Most of the time, we are our own problem.
Yeah, once we said that, we did didn't we do a pod about being our own worst enemy?
Of course we did.
You know, because we are our own. But I had to get out of my own way. And I didn't need nobody in my way, because I'm telling you, once you tell somebody how you feel, you say it's black and white, they're going to convince you that it's blue and gray. Sometimes you can't tell people nothing. You have to keep it between you and God. And that's the one thing I learned. I don't tell nobody nothing. Like, I had good news. I waited to the pit end to know that I'm in there to tell my mama. Because you don't know. And I'm not saying my mom is, but the people that you think are there for you could be plotting against you in so many ways.
But that's a double-edged sword. And I have to say it like that, because you could be going through trials and tribulations, but because you're so stubborn and so scared,
I'm so stubborn,
that the person is going to be against you, that you don't tell them about what you went through until it's done, when they may have had the key resources that were needed to get through it.
True.
Like the month of January. month of January was bullshit for me in
Mm.
so many words. I had major things going on left and right. I kept all that to myself until I was damn near at the finish line before I finally told people who I deal with on a day-to-day basis, okay, this is what's going on in my life. This is what was here. This was here. It's like, this is why I ain't been there, man. You know, this is going on. And then it was like, everybody looked at me like, Tone, why the fuck you be going through shit by yourself? You act like we don't be sitting here in a circle collectively talking about every single thing under the sun that's going on with us. We pour our problems out all the time and we help each other with them. But why do you feel like you have to do it all by yourself?
Well, you know, the reason for me is it's like this. And I am a stubborn person. I've been working on my stubbornness because it's bad. It's bad. I'm telling you, it's better. It was bad, but it's better. But it's like once you burn me, once I reach out for help and you reject me or you make me feel bad for asking, I'm not asking nobody for nothing. I'll tell people a million times over, if I can't do it, and if I can't go out here and DoorDash or do whatever to get it, we don't need it. I'm not asking nobody for nothing. And that's partly because, you know, you get butt hurt by people that can ask you for a million things. And you like, yeah, okay, happily come get it. Come pick it up. And the one time you need that person, they make you feel like trash because you asked.
You know what I had to learn how to do? I had to learn how to set boundaries on those who I help.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to, like, first of all, when I'm dealing with new people, so like we're vibing, we're in a good place. And when I mean new people, like this is the very first time you've ever come to me because you need assistance with something. Okay. Now, me and you, we have history. We've known each other for years.
Right.
Okay. So we didn't just meet before the podcast. We knew each other before then.
Right.
If you said, hey, Tone, I need to borrow $100 to go ahead and take care of something real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
My first and foremost thing is I don't loan money unless it's my blow money. Meaning, like, if to give you $100 takes away from kids
you
or the bills,
you gotta have it chilling.
Right?
It's
gonna be a no. If you get upset because I can't help you, cool. Don't ever ask me for nothing again.
Right?
Because your attitude let me know that you are not going to be a good person. But if I say, yeah, I can do it, when can you pay me back? I don't ask that question because I want the money back. I ask that question about how are you going to be able to handle the scenario? Because whatever day and time you tell me, and be honest with me, say, you know what, because I had to borrow this, I don't know when I'm going to be able to give it back. But a lot of times people will come up with numbers and stuff just so they can get it. They care about the now, not about the later. It's like, all right, cool. You say you can give it back to me when you get paid in 2 weeks. Cool. I'm not going to sweat you. I'm going to hit you up on the Friday before just to see how you doing. You get that situation taken care of. How's life treating you? Is everything good? I'm not going to bring up the fact that you owe me money.
I just want different people.
I just want to make sure you mentally okay. Because what's going to happen is remember I told you this was my blow money. So you're not affecting me.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is more you now going to affect our loyalty and our trust.
Hey, Steph.
Okay. Then I'm going to hit you up on Wednesday. I was like, hey, bro, what you doing on Friday? Because
I can't do it. If I know you owe me money and you said nothing to me about it, you just done in my book.
No. I'm not gonna sweat you about it because you already gave me a date and deadline. If my We Energies is due on the 3rd, do you want We Energies fucking with you on the 15th of the month before about that money? No,
but still,
I don't want that. So I'm not gonna do that to somebody else. But then that Friday comes around. I already checked on you Friday to make sure what you had to do was good. And you told me you took care of it. I hit you up on Wednesday to see what you was doing on Friday. And you said you wasn't doing A, B, C, D. I shouldn't have to say anything to you about my money. My money should be there.
Hey, Nashawn.
My money should be there. Right. But of course, niggas got a nig. So they ain't going to say nothing. They going to let it slide. They're going to give you an excuse a day of. If you tell me that Wednesday when I hit you up to see what you're doing on Friday, because the reason why I hit you up on Wednesday, because most jobs you can see your pay stub 2 days before you get paid.
Especially on the Cash App card. I know you get paid on Wednesday.
I don't even care about when you get paid. I only care about the day we supposed to got that you agreed to pay me.
This is
so
my
I know
thing.
You see your stub and you know you got your money. Be respectful enough to say, hey, bro, I checked my paycheck. It's not where I want it to be. I can't give you the whole $100 or I can't pay you this Friday.
Hear my heart.
I'm going to ask you, well, how much can you give me? because I'm giving you an opportunity to rectify this. If you can't rectify this situation, you are going to throw away a long-term friendship over $100.
Listen, this is what I say, and this has always been just how I go about life. Don't ever go into anything expecting anything from anybody. So if I borrow you $100 and I'm in a good place and my bills are paid, and like you said, this is my blow money, I'm not going to expect you to pay me back, because you know why? Let me finish. You taking up too much of my energy to get my money back.
No.
So I'm gonna say, here go this $100. You need to borrow. Just hit me when you can.
Nope, I don't.
No, I'm saying this is how I do it.
I can't. I used to do that. I can't. I don't do that no more.
Still not an expectation of anything from you, because you save yourself disappointment. You save yourself wasting your energy trying to get your money back that you ain't gonna get back.
No. Here's the thing. If we friends, you've had to have been a friend that I've known enough for me to even consider loaning it to you to begin with. Because I can have $1,000 sitting over here that I just plan on throwing in the strip club, and you need to borrow $50. If we ain't that kind of friend, you're not even getting that $50 from me.
Yeah.
But
once again, that's too much energy for me.
But here's the thing. And you say it's too much energy for me.
It is.
But here's the reason why. I used to be like that. But you want to know why I stopped being like that?
Why?
Because when you don't question your money, even though it's your money to give away, that person knows, like, oh, I could come back to you again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My cousin says she can't hear me. Can anybody else hear me? Just comment if you can hear or not.
I can hear you. I can tell you going over there.
Hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
Hey, my neighbor. Hey, love. Listen, I'm telling you, that's how. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, if I loan somebody something, I'm a good person, right? So I give people things. That's just because that's who I am. That's why, once again, I can't just give my energy to anybody. I can't just expose myself to everybody, because I know the person I am.
No.
Can y'all hear me? Okay, everybody else can hear. Listen, hear me out.
Do that no
I
more.
heard your stance. Hear me out. If I loan you money, I'm not expecting the money back, because for one, I'm not going to ever give nothing that's going to take out of my kids' mouths, that's going to have me late on rent, that's going to have me late on my car note. So I'm giving this to you, okay, on a contingency that you're going to pay me back. But if it falls through, I promise to God you won't ever hear. I ain't going to loan you nothing else. No. But you will never hear me. And I'm, once again, that's part of my stubborn. You gonna never hear me mention it again, because for one, I don't want to make you feel bad. You could be in a situation where you can't pay me back and don't know how to be honest about it. No. That could be, you could have lost your job and didn't tell me you lost your job. But I'm telling you, when you lower your expectations of people, you'll have less disappointment in your life.
See, here's the thing. It's not about lowering my expectations. It's about creating boundaries.
Right.
But what ends up happening, because if a person comes to learn that you are of a giving nature, because they have to have known that to even come to you to borrow to begin with.
Right.
And if you, the person, was like, hey, fam, hit me when you hit me, them are the people who will forget that they need to hit you and will come back and ask again before they even consider paying you back to begin with. Mm-hmm. And then that dollar amount starts to get higher and higher. Then when you finally get to that point where he's like, look, bro, I ain't got it to give, now it's an issue because you became a source of reliability to them. And I don't do that. I put that expectation up front that very first time I loan you money, because you know with me, if you borrow from me, you are going to be expected to give it back to me. Now, if I loaned you the $100 and by that Friday, without me even mentioning money to you, you gave me my $100, you will always get from me no matter what. And then in the future, you may get those situations where I won't even ask it. I'll say, take it as a gift, because I know you're going through some shit.
Right.
I have to establish those boundaries in the beginning. I will never leave a wide open door to a cash register.
But once again, that's what I'm saying about all this energy you're using towards a friendship.
It's not about energies. It's setting necessary boundaries.
Because if you have to chase somebody down for your money,
you're not chasing.
But I'm saying,
because you got to remember,
you text them, hey bro, I'm checking on you, see how you good.
No,
2 more days. You're supposed to pay me back.
Remember, but I'm not putting all that in there. See, that's the mistake you're making.
Yeah.
You're thinking I'm texting them with the intention of saying, give me my money. That Friday, I'm texting you because you had a situation that was so dire that you needed to borrow money from me.
Right.
Let me make sure you got that together, because the case in point, the problem may not be that you didn't have the money. The case in point be you may not know how to manage your money. So if you
Right.
got that situation taken care of on Friday when we talking about it,
Or you
let's
could have a drug habit. That you
let's
don't know
find
about
out.
or
Let's
whatever.
find out what we need to do to stop this from happening again. Not that I'm not gonna give you the money, but let's stop this from happening again because apparently, bro, you doing something you ain't supposed to.
Right.
Look, stop fucking with that chick. You won't be $100 short when it's time to pay your rent.
That's
Let
true.
it be a different scenario.
But
Maybe
once
you need a new
again,
job.
and that's
But then that Wednesday is just to make sure
you
because this is
getting
the second
deep.
time
This
you
really
pay.
happened because you getting
I do this
deep.
to everybody. I tell him I do this to everybody. This is how I treat people now. You don't borrow money
You
from me
have
just
to,
because.
but once again, this is what I'm saying about friendships. Friendships is a full-time job.
It is.
Listen, it's a full-time job, and that's why I'm telling people I'm not in the season of friends. Because at the end of the day, if I'm giving you all this energy and I'm supposed to be giving myself or elevating myself or getting myself correct, how am I gonna continue to commit that to myself when I got to worry about my friend or you calling me every 2 days with your problems and you need a ride here and there, and it's a lot being a friend. And if I'm your friend, listen, if I'm your friend,
boundaries.
but I'm saying if I'm your friend, and this is loyal me, because if I'm your friend 100%. So I'm not gonna tell you no. I'm gonna sit there and listen to you. But at the end of the day, you do have to set boundaries. Like, listen, before you, and this the thing, even when I did vent to somebody, I asked them, like, is it okay for me to talk to you? Because you don't know where they energy at. You don't know what that person is battling.
Everybody doesn't do that. This is the reason why you have to.
No, I'm just saying in my experience. And that's why I feel like if I can't be 100% your friend, I can't be your friend. And once again, I'm just not in the realm of being a friend. I'm so selfish with myself right now. Because at the end of the day, like I said, my relationship with God is the most important thing to me right now. Because I feel like I can't direct my kids correctly without being led by God. I can't make the right career choices without being led by God. I'm falling into deep depressions if I'm not being led by God. It's all about God for me. I had a spiritual awakening, and I feel like if I'm continuing to go out and hang with people and do this, and your mind is being clouded and you cannot hear God. And that's the most important thing for me right now. I don't want to miss the mark that God has for me.
I don't think you ever will, because the one thing I learned dealing with my walk with God is if you're supposed to go down a particular path, he gonna make it be that you go.
That's right. But if he's telling you and directing you and you in a comfortable place, which was my situation, everything I did, I was just like, why do I feel this way? I just feel uneasy right now. Like, what is it? Why can't I? And I'm praying and I'm getting no answer. Well, that's because you didn't took on A, B, C, D's problems. You stressed out at work. Your kids not listening, but you won't take a minute to pray and just hear me.
Here's one thing that you will need to learn. Okay, as you're trying to go down this journey and this path with God, if he wants you to go somewhere, he's going to make it happen, because you know what he's going to do? He's going to purposefully remove situations out of your lives only because he knows those are the distractions of why you're not getting there. There has been many times, and I repeat, many times, where I thought that the individual was the one.
Mm-hmm.
Took that person right about the equation without me doing anything.
He will, but you know what? This is what I say. You were getting mad signs before, but because you had so much going on, he had to forcefully say, okay, let me just start putting blocks in the way because he ain't sitting still listening to me. Let me forcefully do it. Right. Now, everybody's walk with God is different. Yours ain't gonna be the same as mine, but I'm telling you, I've been in the positions.
Me and him, we cuss at each other.
Listen though, I've been in the positions where he like, you not listening, so I gotta forcefully do this. Yeah, and I'm just like, dang, why they have to be so harsh? Maybe if you sat down and were quiet, you can see that I'm showing you stuff that this person ain't for you.
It's always, whenever you have a situation where you have to sit there and doubt your
any red flag.
It's not even about the red flags, because I'm actually getting sick and tired of the red flag conversation, because a red flag for one person may not be a red flag for the next person. But I say any type of doubt. If you have any type of doubt of an individual that you're dealing with, where you have to question where you stand with them, at that point in time, either have that conversation, because that's another thing that's wrong with today's society. People do not want to communicate with each other in a way that is all about understanding instead of just hearing what I gotta say.
And I'm so happy that I'm at that point, because it's like word vomit to me right now.
Right.
I can't hold it in. If I feel away, we finna talk about it, because I've learned that when you let stuff fester, it become a bigger ordeal than it is, right? You want to, and I can't. It's like God won't allow me to be quiet. and I had to work on my mouth too, because I used to just say mean things to start an argument just so I can get my point across. Now I'm like, hey, let's sit down and have this talk because I'm feeling this way.
Right.
And now me and my life partner, we can have a conversation. We'll have a conversation and we leave it right there. And it's like, what's the point of us walking around mad at each other when we could have just talked about it?
Right.
I'm telling you, it's so much when you sit down in peace and it's not everything tugging you this and that way. You hear the voice of God and you just like, this is the way I'm supposed to go about things right now. Like I said, I don't have time to be lusted right now. I don't want to be lusted right now.
To be lusted.
I'm so serious. Like,
No,
and that's a big thing. At
you.
one point in time, I wanted to be told I was attractive every other day. I wanted somebody to get up and rub my face and tell me sweet nothings.
You wanted to have value. You wanted someone to make you feel like your value was worth it.
I wanted somebody to make me feel like, right, that they knew my value. But that's the thing. I know my own value. I know my own worth. And so I don't need to hear nobody tell me that, oh, you looking good today. Or it's nice to hear. Don't get me wrong, because everybody want to text good morning, beautiful sometimes. But I used to crave that. And I'm just sitting here like, why are you looking for, confirmation and validation in somebody else? Because, once they hit it, they gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to know that for yourself. You need to know that you're beautiful. You need to know that God loves you. God loves you. Step out of the religion for a minute. Know that you got a relationship with God and he loves you.
Right.
Ain't nothing you can do. And the Bible says that nothing you can do can separate you from the love of God. So stop listening to people. Once you stop listening and caring about what folks say, I swear to God, I tell people all the time, when they have something like, God loves me. That's all that matters to me at this point. That's it. That's all I want. I want a relationship with God. And I feel like once you do that, everything else will fall in place. Man. You going to the club every weekend looking for a man, or you getting on Facebook every day talking about you need a man. That's not going to help you find no man. Then if it do, you drawing the wrong attention. I've drawn the wrong attention. I'm only talking from experience. I'm only talking from experience.
For somebody who said they were just gonna pop in and do
I'm just saying I ain't been on my podcast in months, y'all. I just had a lot to say. I'm telling you, it matters when you sitting at home. You just sitting in your own thoughts. I think no negative thoughts about me. I think no negative thoughts about anybody I know. I only have positive thoughts. I want to see everybody elevate and go to the level they want to. I want to see people reach their goals. I'm all about love. God is love. So don't let nobody convince you that you don't go to church on Sunday, you're going to hell. Or if you wear pants to church, you're going to hell.
Who's complaining about pants? That's wild.
Oh, you go to a Kojic church.
I do go to a Kojic church. That's why I said it's wild.
You must go to a new age one.
I told you the one right around the corner.
The ones I've experienced, and that's all church hurt. That's been forgiven because I'm like, I have to move on with life. But
that's just a generational thing, though. As the church,
it's not even that. It's religion. Let's get out of the religion factor.
As the elders are starting to fade, as the elders are starting to fade away,
right?
Some of those previous rules and regulations are also starting to fade out.
It's even new age ones too, because I was scrolling through TikTok and a lot of them still carry them, them requirements that you don't wear a skirt. You wear a skirt to church. You got to be past your knees.
But here's the thing:
things like that.
That's just the whole thing is why.
Because
how are you going?
It's going to condemn you to hell. Wearing red lipstick and red nail polish.
That's old school thinking.
I'm telling y'all.
Because first of all, how are you going to sit here on one side of the coin, say, "Hey, God said, come as you are," but then turn around
it's naive,
and it's like, "But since you here now, this is what you can't wear this or this."
I'm opening my own church.
We got enough of those.
I'm gonna have a open mic church, and I'm gonna let everybody free themselves because you're freed by the power of your testimony. I'm telling you.
I'm just saying.
I just came on here with my testimony, and I'm telling y'all, if you feeling away, if you feeling like you don't know which way to go, if you feeling depressed, if you feeling like it's more for you and you don't know which way to turn, I'm telling you, take a week off of social media. Turn your social media off. And just sit in the corner and pray. If you don't pray to Buddha, whoever you believe in.
Hey,
get your spirituality.
Buddha cool dude, though.
Yeah. Get your spirituality in check. You can manifest so many things when you just turn the world off. When you turn the virtual reality off, because that's all social media is. Turn the virtual reality off. I promise the 90% of the people that make it seem like everything's so gravy and cheese, they not really happy. because I feel like, why you got to post it all the time if you really, I'd be too busy living it. You know what I'm saying? But teach his own. But I pray y'all took whatever I said to heart, because I've been rambling for like 2 hours. I don't know if I'm gonna bring the pod back.
You gonna bring it back?
I don't know.
She bringing it back, people.
God is doing some amazing things in my life. Because I'm being obedient and I'm shutting up. So I'm gonna have to check and see what he says about it. But it was a pleasure, y'all. I missed y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in and interacting with me. It's 3:52. I'm about to go home. I still
Right,
gotta
I
go
was
to
like,
Target.
you supposed to been gone a while ago.
I know, but it was a pleasure. So
because you needed this, and that's how I know you.
I did, and it's been a long time, and I'm
this
like,
is how I know you gonna bring your show back, because you gonna get home.
We'll
and
see.
You're gonna be like, ooh, I should talk about this on my show. Tom, can I get in there? And boom, we
I mean, it is nice to finally get out in public and actually tell y'all what I've been doing. Because, like I said, people were inboxing me to see if I was okay, and I appreciate that. But I'm good. I'm healthy.
drugs and alcohol.
None of that. Not none of it.
That's what you
I'm
need.
high off life, man. I don't need the extras. But to each his own. People have triggers, childhood traumas, whatever whenever you need to do to elevate, you do that. Don't let nobody judge you but God. That's what I learned. Forget everybody's opinions, because everybody gonna have an opinion, whether you doing the right thing or the wrong thing. People gonna always have something to say. Forget them. I'm telling y'all, it's the best feeling being at peace. Somebody can knock on my door and cuss me out, and I'll be like, well, God bless you, because I don't care. Whatever. But all right, y'all, I'm out. I'm about to go home and eat. Have a good Sunday. Have a good week, y'all. And I don't know if I'm gonna bring the pod back. We'll see.
She'll be back, people.
Bye.